end. It's much more fun up here. And one of the things that I usually notice, and I'm going to exaggerate it a little, sometimes by number 5, here's what a student does. They listen to me say it. It's a long sentence. And they start writing, and then they do this. And they just start creative writing. They're writing this wonderful story. It's not what I said, but they're just kind of writing. Creative writing's good, except not on this, and I'm going to tell you why in a couple minutes. So I'm going to go back and read the sentences again. I want you to look carefully at what you wrote. You have to be a hard grader on yourself, okay? So if you made one mistake, if you put instead of the, it's wrong. It's got to be exactly right, okay? So number 1, everyone at the game wore a red shirt. Number 2, the power went out due to a big storm last Monday morning. Number 3, he usually eats 2 soft tacos and a burrito whenever he goes to Taco Bell. Okay. Now, how many are still perfect, no mistakes whatsoever? Okay, we'll knock almost all of you out right here. Everybody else, just look at your creative writing and see how you do, okay? Number 4, the 4 young children. You're not supposed to say anything yet. The 4 young children spent the whole afternoon playing on the swings and slides at the local park. Okay, anybody still perfect? We got almost everybody out. Okay, now number 5. Let's see how you do on this one. Okay, after running 4 miles on the beach, the young woman walked another mile in order to cool down and then went home. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about this. First of all, when you are in a college class and you're trying to listen and take notes, are you normally supposed to wait for the teacher to finish saying something and then start writing it? No, if you do that, you're going to fall so far behind you'll never catch up. But here's the problem. If the teacher's talking like this and you can't write like this, you're always behind, which means that you're not writing what they just said. You're writing what they said 10 or 15 seconds ago, and you're trying to hold that in your brain long enough to write it. And what else are you doing at the same time? Trying to listen so you can write that next. It's like juggling. It's hard to do both, okay? The reason I wanted you to wait and then write was so that you would see what I think all of you see now, and that is it's a lot harder than it seems to do that. I've had people say, I got that sentence totally right, and then I read it, and they had half of it wrong. Your mind kind of plays tricks on you. Also, when you're taking notes in classes, are you normally supposed to write word for word what the teacher says? No. Every once in a while they'll say, write this down word for word, but usually you write it your own way. But accuracy is important, and here's why. Here's my favorite little illustration. One of these 5 sentences is very famous, and it's going to be famous for you now. I have a lot of different lists of 5 sentences that are kind of the same length as those. But a few years ago, I read the same exact sentences that I just did with you, the same 5. And at the end of the class, everybody left except one guy who came marching up to me with his notebook looking really angry, steam coming out of his ears. Never fun to see somebody approaching you looking like that. And he said something you don't really want to ever say. He walked up to me and he said, and I said, yes? And he said, you lied.